Greetings, everyone. I'm Dr. Wolf, and I'm here with Finn the Pony.
Hello.
And Takara, POV.
Hello.
And my brother, Teric Dragon.
Hi there.
And we just finished watching Fame and Misfortune.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Holy cow. That was so much fun while being so fascinating all at the same time.
Now, I just have to say something here.
What?
Whenever I am at a convention with you and we sit down to watch an episode for a review, it always ends up being a great episode. And then the not-so-great episodes happen when we're not at conventions. Why is that?
Just good luck, I guess.
No. It's uncanny.
They want to get the hype.
This has happened far too many times. What is going on?
I suppose we ought to get you to come to more conventions so there are more good episodes.
So that's the way to improve
It
Hasbro?
has to be to
He's our
improve.
lucky charm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way to improve Hasbro's work, is just send me to more conventions. I like that.
Teric is our lucky charm. Make note of that.
All right.
I think they just do that to build up the hype. Like, they know that it's going to get a reaction out of fans. Especially lines in this episode, those were definitely going to get reactions from people.
This felt like a fan episode through and through, and the fact they released it on one of the biggest conventions in Brony history is a huge, huge one-up.
Do you know who wrote this episode?
Emily Larson.
Yes!
It was Larson.
It was M.A. Larson.
The man, the myth, the legend is back.
I know I've said this before, but thank you, M.A. Larson.
Yes.
You do wonderful work. And my goodness, even if a person who watches this episode has no idea what the Brony fandom is, they can still enjoy it. And they can still be fascinated by it.
Yep.
But the fact that, yeah, we are a part of the Brony fandom,
I'm
and
not.
there are
Oh, wait.
so many nuanced moments. There are so many little blink and you'll miss it cameos, and they're specifically pointing out fan complaints. And when they happen
Lots
on
of them.
screen, they're like, oh my gosh, they actually just said that.
Yeah. There were tons of, either gasp or laugh out loud moments where we're like, yeah.
Okay, the one that I noticed first of all. Well, okay, let's synopsis. A little bit of synopsis of the episode. Of course, all of the friendship lessons that the main six have been writing up over all these years, they kept them all in a journal. The journal's getting old. Twilight pulled it off the shelf and she said, great, let's make a copy for everybody so they all can have their own fresh little copy. And then she decided to make bunches of copies and sell it to everybody in Ponyville and the surrounding areas. With the intention that other ponies could learn from their friendship lessons and become better ponies and become better friends with each other and all that kind of good stuff. A very idealistic view, to be honest, but that was her intention, of course. And we see that almost none of her intentions came to light because it all just got blown out of proportion and everybody was reading the book for the wrong reasons, or even not reading the book and collecting it and putting it it's like, collector's item type of thing.
Yeah.
So of course that results in a load of shenanigans, and we get to see all of the things that are happening to each of the main six as a result of people reading their friendship lessons and completely taking them the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all have our instances of things that we noticed in the episode that we'd like to mention.
Yes. Takara.
I felt like I sort of had a nitpick at the start when Twilight had mentioned the lesson that was learned from Return to Harmony. Like, they didn't have the journal back then. That was something that I had noticed. It's more of a nitpick, but, yeah, I noticed that.
They probably could have written the lesson because it had just happened.
Mm.
I mean, it was at the end of lesson 0 that they were writing the friendship lesson amongst all the main six, but even in the first season, she was writing friendship letters to Celestia, so she was already practiced in writing it down.
And we know that Celestia kept all of those friendship lessons.
Yeah.
Maybe Twilight asked Celeste if she could have the letters back for more, reference for the book. Maybe it would add to the journal's importance.
This is true.
It would make sense.
Possible.
That would explain why some of the pages were falling out. They weren't really attached.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Doesn't explain why somebody would mush an apple in pages.
Yeah, a lot of people
Or how
just say,
Rainbow would write with such conviction that she's tearing up the pages.
I learned my lesson, I learned my lesson, I learned my lesson.
I wanted to see the page where Applejack wrote, "Dear Princess Celestia, I didn't
Learn
learn
anything."
I was right all along.
Fantastic stuff.
Anyway, all right.
So, what were some of your favorite lines?
Definitely the one where the guy shouts out, "Are Pinky and Applejack related or what?"
Are Pinkie Pie and Applejack related or what?
It was less than 2 seconds, but this guy just threw himself in front of the screen and said what tons of people in the fandom are asking.
Yeah.
And headcanons all over the place, and he just shouted it out to the world. Thank you, M.A. Larson.
We
Yes.
just want to know.
Finn, what are your favorite moments?
Okay, well, one of the earliest best moments I liked, I loved the part where everybody was laughing at Pinky's every line, and then Twilight tries to throw a line in there, and just dead silence, and just... That was awesome. And
I felt like the timing for everybody's laughter at that scene was very well done. Like, I like the timing and how it comes right at the time that it's supposed to.
exactly. And what was I going to say? One of my favorite parts, which I know it's some of your favorite parts too, because you mentioned it, what was it called? It was when we were first learning about how the book was affecting Fluttershy. And I'm going to go more into that later because she has one of the best lines, in my opinion, when she was trying to assert herself. Basically, she was saying, were you able to change your outlook or personality from just one lesson or one experience, which is 100% true. Because when you're trying to change something about yourself, like a habit or, some kind of personal thing, it takes a lot of time and effort. But the best part, right after that really legitimately good moment, this one guy comes out and says, "Oh, you're nothing like the Fluttershy in the book." And it's like, yeah, I don't think I like that.
I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, it's like,
What?
It's reflecting what the fans over the years have said about the show. And later on, when they start singing about how we're not perfect, we have flaws,
Exactly.
it's a lovely sentiment.
Yeah.
And one thing that I was legitimately fascinated about by the episode, I mean, I love all the shout-outs and the questions and the fun little moments, but I didn't know how they were going to solve everything. And I love stories where you don't know what's going to happen next. When I'm watching other episodes where I know every step of the way exactly what's going to happen, predictable is not as fun. I can still enjoy character moments and jokes, but predictable is just not as fun. I love when at the very end, when there's only a minute left, I don't know how they're going to fix it. And it turns out
They didn't.
they didn't fix it entirely,
They
but they
can't.
still ended on a wonderful lesson.
And best of all, it was Starlight's plan. She said she had a plan, and she brought it forward at the end. And who was it that she brought?
2 little fillies.
Even though the majority of their fans, again, they're talking about the Brony fandom, but
Yeah.
their fans
Very meta.
are still arguing amongst themselves and still trying to focus on whatever they're going to focus on. They still had these 2 little fillies who learned a valuable lesson, who still became best friends and still became better ponies overall because of the examples of the main 6.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that the main 6's lessons and their book that went all over Equestria caused so much discord and chaos, and again, I'm sure Discord would have loved to see that.
Ooh, lovely chaos.
Right. Even though there was so much chaos in the background, the fact that they were able to help individuals, even just those few individuals, makes all the difference.
And see,
And the most... oh, sorry, go ahead.
this is what Twilight was saying at the very end. And you know what? I think this wasn't Twilight speaking. This was M.A. Larson.
Oh, yeah.
He was using Twilight as a microphone at this point. He was saying, it's really cool because these fillies had come and say, these lessons, they made such a difference to us and we're better friends than ever. And then Twilight comes back and says, wow, that's really great to hear that. If we put out all of these lessons and we try and spread this message and it affects one friendship, then that makes all the difference.
Exactly.
It makes it all worth it.
It makes it all work. And so I think M.A. Larson, what he's doing here is he's using Twilight as his own little soapbox here, and he's saying, I get all this grief, and I get a lot of people saying, wah, I can't believe you wrote this.
Yeah, the old lady who said, Twilight should have never gotten her wings.
Hello?
How many times have people said that?
That's one of the most common complaints a Brony has ever made.
And so M.A. Larson, he's sitting here. Of course, I know he's not the only writer, but he's one of the most prominent and well-known writers. And I'm sure he gets all of this grief, he gets all of this feedback, and he gets all of these fans saying, you should never have done that, and this shouldn't have happened, and that, and that, and that. And then, but what he's saying is, if what I have done, or what we have done, can affect one or two people in a positive way, and help them to become better friends and better people, then it's all worth it to me.
Yeah.
So, thank you, M.A. Larson.
Yeah.
I've said it earlier. I know that MLP has had a positive impact on my life. I've said it many, many, many times in videos. And I love the lessons that they teach. I know that I nitpick. I know that I come up with headcanons, and I know that I ask some of the most minute, minuscule, why am I asking these kind of questions?
Yeah.
It's fun, but yeah, looking at it from the other side, I can understand why some of those writers would look at me and say, why are you focusing on this? Holy cow. It's not important.
That's one of the main things I want to say, just for MLP in general, just a really big thing about MLP. There are going to be those people that are there for the awesome moments, like they reference with Rainbow Dash. There are going to be those people that are there for the laughs, like they reference with Pinkie Pie. There are going to be people that are going to complain about character development, like they did with Rarity. There are going to be those that are going to be trying to be immersed in the show, like I said, part of the family, like with Applejack. But at the end of the day, if there are people that learn a valuable lesson and take something away from it of value and just make their life better, that's all that really matters. There's always going to be different types of people that view the show for different reasons. And there's nothing wrong with people that view it for that reasons. But, as long as you take away something of value from it, that's what really matters. So it's kind of interesting that they separated. It's kind of interesting that they separated the show amongst each character and showed like different people getting different things from the book. Some were there for the action, some were there for the last, blah blah blah. But they did show that even with all of that going on and people complaining and people just wanting this or wanting things changed, there is going to be people who look at the lessons and the valuable information that they contain, and I'm sure all of us know that. So. And
I didn't think of that, Fan.
Yeah.
You just pointed out something that I didn't realize before. That each one of the main six that had their issues that they were dealing with in this episode, it represents a section of the fandom.
Yeah,
that's what I was
absolutely.
saying.
And I just put that together. Mind blown.
Yeah, because if you look at there's a reason each one is separate, because each member of the main six represents a different thing. Like I said, so they want some characters back to the way they were. They want things changed. They hate things. They dislike things. They're there to laugh. They're there to be happy. They're there to just watch some awesome scenes or whatever.
Or they're there to analyze.
They're there to analyze, exactly. Some people there was a guy from the Candlelight.
The press?
Candlelight Chronicle asking questions. That's what we do. We theorize. We ask questions. Why is this? Here's a counter theory. Why didn't you do this?
Wouldn't Twilight be a more interesting character if she never went to Ponyville?
Exactly. That's a fan theory, right?
Yeah!
That's a fan theory.
That's the kind of questions we ask.
I love when meta humor is done well, and this episode is filled to the brim with meta humor. And like we just noticed with the different parts of the fandom, you watch it twice, and there's things you don't even realize until the second try.
I love when there are episodes when right after you finish watching it, you want to go right back and watch it again.
Exactly.
I love that. Those are some of the greatest examples of what this show has to offer.
Yeah. If there's an episode that you can literally just say, okay, we watched it, let's immediately watch it again, then that's a good episode. There's some episodes that are good the first time around, which you never want to watch again, but this one, I'd watch like 5 times.
Coolness.
Yeah.
Just like Pinkie Bride.
Mm.
No, never mind. Just one of my favorite episodes. Never mind.
No, I feel you.
We watched that together, too.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
I remember that.
Yep. And another one that took the fandom by storm. So, like I said,
yeah.
Good luck charm right here.
No. I'm just an observer.
Oh,
Don't sell yourself short.
Come on.
You're awesome.
Anyway,
Miss Takara, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I was basically thinking everything that you guys thought. I agree with Finn in that it represents a different corner of each section of the fan base. And I agree that even if it was just two fillies who really got something out of it, whereas everyone's just arguing about it, I feel like that does leave a bigger impact in the end. Or at least it's still something.
The most interesting thing, those are the two fillies that inspired the book in the first place. So
Yeah.
that's another little tidbit.
Things come full circle. Where's Silverquill?
Where's my Shinko's
Continuity!
This is basically the fans inspiring the writers, who in turn inspire the fans, and so on and so forth.
Give
Yeah.
and take.
Inspiration and love goes around and around.
The writers look at the fans and they scratch their heads, or they look in disbelief, or they have to cringe with how much they're overanalyzing things, or pointing out every single flaw, or just pointing out how awesome everything is, or just laughing at every single joke, even if you're not supposed to laugh at it.
Mhm.
But in the end, they appreciate when we're learning and growing and becoming better people.
Yep.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Great moral, great episode.
Now, just as a side note,
Yeah.
was it Lyra and Bon Bon that said that Pinky is more funny in person?
No, that was, I think that was Berry Punch and someone else.
Someone else, yeah.
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 And then Pinky says,
Said, "You've known me for years!"
yeah.
That's true.
Fantastic writing on that.
Kind of a reference to how they've been in the background for years.
Yeah.
So,
This is true.
Can I also say, there was a moment this episode when all four of us jumped and went, ugh! Stressed out Rarity.
oh my gosh, yes.
The very first moment she came on screen, it's like,
Wow.
holy, whoa!
Whoa! She turned around and she was psycho.
Great animation work, too. I've been waiting for you, Twilight.
They've been getting so much better at drawing facial expressions and animating movement that they're able to make this come out so well and get a reaction out of us.
Yeah. And Twilight's face when Applejack slammed the door in her face, she was just... That was awesome.
So I really enjoyed the spot where Rare. I mean, they all of them were inside the castle. They were all hiding from the crowd. Rarity had her stress
couture.
couture dress on.
And she was trying to do measurements on Fluttershy, and
Fluttershy.
Fluttershy's like,
She just looked over with like a death glare.
No.
Like,
Sorry. But then what it did a cutscene where it showed like the camera panned back and it showed everybody, and there was Rarity just kind of rocking back and forth like she was completely stressed out and couldn't handle things.
It was so cute in this episode. Just even when she first found out about what they were thinking about the book, and she was like hiding behind the menu, and then you see little crying face. She was so sad. I felt so bad for her.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so any closing thoughts?
I like it. I really like it.
I love it.
This is gonna definitely be a top contender for best episode this season.
Yep. Where the apple lies, you got competition. I mean, not where the apple. What was it? Perfect pair, you got competition.
Perfect pair.
Perfect pair.
Ha! My bad.
And that had only just come out recently. The last
Yep.
episode, actually.
Yeah.
Well, Perfect Pair was the very last episode?
Yeah.
It was perfect pair, and then this one.
Oh my.
So we're on a roll so far.
Keep it up, guys.
Fantastic stuff. So, BronyCon. Such a fun weekend.
Yes.
And episodes like this make it so much better.
Yeah, especially when you're sharing them with friends.
Oh, yes. I gotta do this at every convention. It's just gather some fun people to be with and sit and watch an episode. Because most of the time when I'm doing these reviews, I'm just watching it by myself. It's
That's
not
no
as fun.
Actually, no fun.
I look forward to it, but this is way better.
Woo!
Okay. So, thank you, everybody. We'd love to hear what each of you thought about what this episode directs towards the fans, because holy cow, does this episode direct toward the fans.
This is fandom the episode, even more than Stranger the Fanfiction.
Slice of life. slice of life
Slice
was
of
really
life
towards the fans.
was
but
really a fan. Yeah.
this episode might be even more towards the fans, more than I think about it.
And this isn't so much fan service as saying, "Hey, fans, we're aware of what's going on here, and we want to kind of put this out here so that you guys don't take this thing so freaking seriously."
No, they're not trying to insult the fans. They're just trying to say, hey, we notice that you're talking about these things, and this is how we'd react to it. We don't really know how to react to it. And that's okay.
Nothing wrong with having different opinions and different reactions to things. So, yeah.
They didn't try to fix the situation at the end intentionally,
I was
by
hoping
the
they
way.
wouldn't. In 30 seconds to resolve a situation like that, you can't do it in 30 seconds.
But they still came up with such a fantastic lesson anyways.
Yeah.
And I applaud them for that.
And to be honest, when it comes to personal opinions and criticisms, you can't really fix them. It's like everybody has them. You just kind of got to accept them.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for that. And for everyone in the comments, let's get a vote on what the very best line of this entire episode was. I want to get a vote. What is your most favorite line?
You got some stiff competition here.
Very stiff competition. I don't know what's the best. Holy cow.
We'll see how this goes.
All right.
Yep.
Until next time, I am Dr. Wolf.
I am Finn the Pony.
I'm Takara POV.
I'm Teric Dragon.
And we look forward to hearing from you.
Bye!